Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Frankly Speaking on Fridays podcast. I am your host, Frank Pador. It is December 31st, 2022, a Saturday at 1:59 p.m. About to be 2. Wait for it. Wait for it. Well, I'm going to lie to you and say that it's 2 p.m. right now. So, it is literally the end of the year. And with me, joining me, I believe now for the second time for the end of the year wrap up, is my roommate, Shelby, but you will probably know her better, not only through being a part of my podcasts previously, but also through her own Twitch channel, QueenShelBeast, where she does mixology as your budget bartender, and she does some gaming. So please, it is 2 p.m. right now. Welcome back, my repeated guest, best friend, and roommate, Shelby. Hi.
Hi.
I guess that was a decent intro for you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Also, a very first time special guest is here. I'm not sure how much he's actually going to be able to contribute, considering his language barrier. However, please welcome my other special guest, Montague Alexander Pador. Monty, welcome to the podcast. You see, language barrier. He only communicates through rubs. Literally, he's been following us all day, so he just came into the studio, jumped up on Shelby's lap, and has just been rubbing, and has nearly caused himself to fall off like 4 times now through his own aggressiveness.
Aggressive rubbing.
Yeah. Aggressive loving. Huh? Anyway. So, how are you?
I'm doing great.
All things considered, he has not stopped.
He has not.
This has been going on for at least 5 minutes now, straight. Are you done? You flick your tail at me. So it is the end of the year, the end of 2022, and I'll be honest with you, the past, like, from 2020 to 2022, it has been nothing but rough.
It's been a roller coaster that won't let us get off.
It's doing nothing but just going downhill.
Yeah.
And then uphill, and then it's just...
a few loop-de-loops.
Yeah.
Corkscrews.
It has been nuts, through and through. And I'll be honest with all of you, both of us here in this room right now are thoroughly exhausted. It's...
I'm ready for some better luck.
Yeah, just thinking of the past year alone. 1, it's a blur. But 2, that blur just provides an astronomical amount of stress and woe and angst.
Yep.
Throughout all spectrums of the human body. So we're going to review all of that together as we try to make sense, unwind or unwind, as some might say, and just hopefully coax peacefully and cautiously to 2023. Mm-hmm. So, with that said, I hope that all of you are doing well. And also, I am proud to announce that right before we did this podcast, I fulfilled my promise to you all. I read 1 book this year. I said I'd do it, and I did it. I read An Actor Prepares. And if you're an aspiring actor or voice narrator, I recommend the read. It's good.
And just for clarification, this is the first book he's read...
in a long time.
Since I've known him.
Yeah. A very long... that wasn't like school required or anything. Like, actually free nature. Pick your own book and relax read.
Yeah.
I did it. I did 1. Yay. So now my New Year's resolution for 2023 is to read 2 books. Let's see if we can push that envelope and not procrastinate and cram it in at the very last minute like my entire higher education.
Wow.
Yeah. Anyway, I hope you, my dear listeners, are doing well, are healthy, are hopefully just relaxing yourselves into 2023. Hope for all of you who are within the Midwest survived and did well with that storm, that ice cold blizzard, whatever the hell it was.
Well, the Northeast is having a little bit of trouble.
Yeah,
'Cause-
Buffalo is.
Yeah, 25 people were killed through the extreme cold and all that wind and all that crap.
Yeah.
So,
all of you just take care of yourselves, please.
yeah.
Please. And also remember, you can chat with me, send direct messages via the Gmail account, email the podcast at fsofpodcast@gmail.com for topics to suggest, articles of interest, or just say hello and let me know how you're doing. The podcast will go through a little bit of a revamp eventually in 2023, but I'm going to worry about that much later. So, with all of that said, as always, let us commemorate the podcast and the end of 2022 with a shot. So here's to you, listeners. Here's to us, individual assholes in a room with a microphone, and to the podcast.
And that does taste better cold.
That does. That does. It goes down better. So, where to begin with 2022?
I suppose we could just kind of go monthly.
If I even remember monthly, I'm gonna have to rely on you mostly.
Oh, good lord. My memory got shot this year, so...
Same. All that I know is that the beginning of the year kind of sucked for me because my previous mentor passed away, Dale Clevenger, on the 5th, and that kind of spiraled me into a bit of a depression.
Yep.
Unexpectedly.
Yeah. It's like that happened. And then only like almost 2 weeks later, a little over 2 weeks later, our dear little Fluffo and Angry Man Chalk Cat passed away.
Yes, he did.
2 days before
my birthday.
His birthday. Frank's birthday, not Chalk's birthday.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was a sudden call to have to make a decision immediately.
Yep.
So.
And the vet just squeezed us right on in, because I'm sure they knew what it was going to be.
Yeah.
So that was not fun. And then my birthday.
And then his birthday. We did like an all-day stream of what, Dark Souls 3?
I believe so.
Yeah.
I believe it was Dark Souls 3, because it was, it was go through the entire game in both the DLCs.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember that I impressed Avenger, and I believe one of his buddies who was into Dark Souls series. Like, they were playing a game amongst themselves through Discord and just multiplayer. And I guess this one friend parked his character like in a corner, was just watching the stream. But I remember we did Slave Knight Gale and the Nameless King. First try.
Yeah. That was pretty awesome.
That was intense.
Yeah.
But that was pretty much January, I think.
Yeah, I don't really have anything. It was just a lot of sadness, and then a day of fun, and then just dealing with the job that we had at the time that wasn't really a job because it wasn't doing anything for us that we were spending too much money on.
Was that this year too?
Yes, that was this year.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah,
so we worked for a scammy insurance company that...
It was a pyramid scheme, even though they wouldn't admit that it was a pyramid scheme, but it absolutely was.
Yeah. We got out of that, at least.
Yeah. We got away with... I know we did it the year prior, but we both got our life and health insurance licenses, our first tries.
Yeah. But the month of February, let's see, I mean, your parents came to visit.
Yes, they did. Celebrated my mother's birthday, I think.
Yes. They were there they actually came in, I think, early because of a storm.
Yep.
That was supposed to come in. So they came in, they were supposed to come in like Thursday night, I believe, and they ended up coming in Wednesday day.
Yes, that's right.
So that was actually a nice weekend, actually have his parents around and whatnot. It's a little bit better now because like our house is bigger than what it was you know, pre-20, like 2020 and earlier. It was like
Mhm.
they were staying at his place. It was nice and everything, but like our place, now that our place has like officially become kind of home and we've figured out how to have guests.
Yes.
Cause like at first it was like, oh god, it's too many people, it's too much. And now we're just like, no, you guys have your own place. It's cool.
Yeah,
Like
literally.
we've figured out how to have guests, and so it's actually nice having them over. And I look forward to this year, hopefully having your sister and brother-in-law
Yeah, that'll
and
be nice.
nephewisms.
Nephewisms. Oh god.
Yeah,
Yep. All of them. All of
yeah,
them. This will be a hop and jump in place.
yeah,
And hopefully by the time that they do come, we will be in a better financial position.
yeah. Mind you, throughout all this January, February bad financial place, he had to take some money out of some things to make things work for us. But
Yeah.
you know, but then February, Elden Ring came out.
That's
We
right.
were also extensively streaming during this entire time, January and February too, like
Yes.
video game streaming.
Yes, we were. Because there
Um,
was nothing else for us to do. And we
yeah,
were finding no success with that company.
yeah.
Uh,
It frustrating, but I will say that during streaming during that time was actually quite enjoyable.
it was.
Um, but yeah, Elden Ring came out, so that was a lot of fun.
That was, yeah.
Um, playing a game on release date.
Yes, absolutely. And there'll be a, hopefully I will be able to afford it, but there's, oh, I might actually have to start, pre-ordering some games because there is an article that I wish to read at the end of this podcast of things to anticipate for 2023.
Cool,
Yeah.
cool.
But yeah, that was a lot of fun to stream a game on the release date.
Hopefully, what you're going to be talking about for that article is going to be Elden Ring DLC. Don't spoil it.
I won't spoil it.
I hope. I want it to be because there's been rumors that Elden Ring DLC is going to be what did you say the rumors were like 30 plus bosses or 50 bosses or something like that?
Yeah, it's going to be anywhere between 30 and 40 bosses, and there's the possibility that it's going to take place in the past and focus on, was it the god of blood or the god of,
Moog?
maybe.
Because he's the one that's in like Mogwin Palace.
Right.
He's that dude.
No, not Moog. Oh,
Well,
shit.
his brother is Mogwin, I
Yep.
think. Or no, he's a main boss because Moog is an optional boss technically.
Technically.
What is this? Morgott.
Yeah, I think it's going to focus
On
around
Morgott.
Morgott.
Okay, interesting. Because I would have honestly hoped potentially more for Ronnie, because that ending, everyone was saying that's canon.
Right, so how did she come to power?
Yeah, because if that ending is canon, technically,
Technically.
then yeah, I don't know. I just be curious just to see like where that goes. I mean, who knows? Maybe Morgott has some sort of, there's something going on with Ronnie. I don't know. But it was that God, I need my flashcards that we talked about with Elden Ring.
Yeah, yeah.
I need that family tree now. But part of it is like I would have been more interested in potentially like Melania and all that stuff.
I forget the character's name, unfortunately, or the god's name, but yeah, there is a possibility, or it wasn't even a possibility. You know what it actually was? It was like it would be cool if the Elden Ring DLC went this direction.
Yeah. I tend to lean more towards I want to go in the direction of like the daughters that all have the M name, Melania and
Yeah, the one that you have to help because the rest of her sisters are fucking killing her.
Yeah, I want to go in that one but I think those are Melania's daughters, I believe.
Yeah.
But then you have what's her nuts who also like she's the one that gives you the Accord torrent, but the Accord car.
Right.
That meme that instantly came out. That was awesome.
I love that meme. Yeah, her.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know.
She's like the maiden or something.
Yeah, she's your maiden.
Yeah.
But yeah, I would have gone down that path and or gone down the path of the final boss of the guy of that was the,
Yeah,
yeah
that guy.
that was a girl.
That was a girl?
I think that was a girl.
I thought that was a guy.
I don't know. I gotta play the game again.
I guess
This is
so.
sucky that I can't remember the names now.
Well, you still have my challenge
I know.
to be able to play through it again.
But yeah, so February Elden Ring came out, and obviously we're talking about a lot about it, so obviously it was very enjoyable.
Yes.
So there was that. We just kind of continued streaming into March.
Mm-hmm.
Started to need to back off of it a little bit, but I don't really think much happened in March other than you went for a job interview and got a job where you weren't able to start until April. He's thinking.
Yeah, I'm trying to think which job that was.
The first insurance.
Oh, is that when I started?
You started April 15th.
Oh, yeah, I did, because it was, well, Ash Friday or something?
I don't know. Yeah, you got like a half day.
Yeah, okay, so, yeah, I did get a job.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
I got that job.
Yeah,
then,
you got that job. You went through the interview, though, in March. Like, 2 interviews, essentially.
Yeah, it was a phone and then an in-person.
Yeah. I also got a job in April, so I guess we're past through March, because March apparently wasn't all that significant.
I guess not, other than just realizing, hey, we're in a tough financial situation. Oh, we did door dashing for a while.
Oh, yeah, that's right. We did start door dashing, and I think I kind of tried to continue it. You stopped, because you got a full-time job.
Yeah.
But yeah, I also got a job in April. I also turned 29 in April.
Yep.
But yeah, it was just, I got a job, but that job did not pan out.
No.
I had it for like 2 months, maybe. Maybe.
I had my job for 4 months, and
Yeah.
then that didn't pan out because we both got let go on the very same day.
Yep. I was gonna say May was pretty much the same, just working our jobs.
Mm-hmm.
I part-time, me still attempting DoorDash, but since college students weren't in town anymore, there was nothing really to do.
And amongst those jobs, well, no, actually not with you. With me, I got my property and casualty license
Yeah,
within the
that's-
state of Indiana.
Yeah.
Kicked ass at selling policies.
Yeah.
And
I'll
then I
say
got let go.
in June, yeah, I got a job, but I didn't get to start it till July
Mhm.
with my insurance thing. It was pretty much kind of just flying by the seat of our pants. In July, getting false hope that things were going to actually start looking up.
Yep.
And then August, we both lost our jobs on the same day.
Yep. That very day, that
'Cause-
very morning.
Literal high school drama.
That morning after I picked up my box of belongings from the office, came right to my studio here where we're recording the podcast and where all my streaming takes place. And I updated my resume and I immediately started sending them out, which, the long run, was really good.
It really worked out, yeah. But yeah, there was a lot of bullshit. Then September, my grandmother passed away.
Mm-hmm.
We were actually told late August, she's not doing so well, you need to come in. They basically gave her a week. Like no more than a week. So yeah, we were told that like Wednesday night, and then we were like, okay, well, we'll go in. I was thinking going on Friday, but then I was like, no, screw this. So we went in on September 1st. Frank and myself went to visit my grandmother. She was already on a lot of morphine.
Yeah,
And the fact that I'm remembering this is actually starting to make me a little bit upset, but that's fine. You may have to continue.
That's fine. So basically when we went in, like no more than like half hour prior to or something, they gave her first dosage of morphine. And we were able to go in and see her, and she was responsive, but she wasn't saying...
Facial expressions, more like, and minor facial expressions.
Her eyes were closed. She wasn't able to really produce words. There were some grunts here or there, but she was pale and she recognized Shelby's voice.
Yeah, she heard my voice, and we both saw her smile, and I was like, Yes, I got my granny.
Yeah.
And so I announced that Frank was also there, and he started saying a few things, and I could see there was a look of confusion. And then I was just like, yeah, this is Frank, and, we live together. And she was like, in like just that moment of, and I was like, and he likes cats. I remember you had an interview with him the first time you met him, and like the stipulation was that we could only be friends if he also liked cats.
Yeah.
And there was like that whole, yes, him.
Yeah.
And as he kept talking more, she was like, I do know him.
Yeah.
So everyone kept saying that she had dementia and couldn't remember things. Screw that. She just had an old woman's mind.
Yeah.
It takes some time,
Just the common senile.
Yeah. But we were probably only there for maybe 10 minutes.
If that.
Yeah.
She was starting to feel the morphine.
Yeah. But we were at least able to say goodbye.
Yeah.
And that's what's most important.
Yep.
In that. Just glad I was able to say goodbye to my granny, who, ugh.
Yeah, because the very next day, early evening.
Yeah, it was like between, what they say, it was like between like 6:30 or something.
Between 6 and 6:30 p.m. September 2nd.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They didn't know exactly when, because somebody was checking her like every half hour, and at 6 she was alive, and at 6:30 she was not.
Yeah.
So.
We can only presume, and I'm sure it's the case, that she went peacefully.
Yeah.
Which is also a great comfort.
But I was told, at least by the priest, that basically was in charge of the whole funeral and everything, and also my grandfather, that because they went in to visit her after us, just kind of like talk with her, pray with her, all that stuff, but that she was in very much good spirits.
Yeah.
And so they feel that she left in wonderful spirits because her only grandchild came to visit her right before she passed.
Yeah.
So, I still cry over it.
No, that'll last for a while.
Our family gets to have our Christmas on the 2nd.
Yep.
This year, because my grandfather was not feeling well, because for some reason my grandfather decided it was a smart idea to keep eating a bad sandwich that had bad salami in it, but whatever. So he wasn't feeling all that well on Christmas. He's doing much better now, but we are going to be doing our family Christmas on this coming Monday.
Yeah.
So I have a feeling there's going to be some emotions, but
probably.
I think we're all going to kind of push through. That's kind of my family's thing. It's just, we're British. We push through.
Absolutely. Absolutely. The services were lovely.
Yes. And I was the only one of my family that actually stood up and spoke. And my grandfather actually requested that I did that. He actually requested my mom do the reading, and my mom was like, I can't do that. And so she passed it on to me, and my grandpa said that's fine, and I was suggesting something of sharing memories. And my grandfather was like, only you. I only want it from you. And so that was what I did. It was a lot of fun. I have very, very, very fond memories with both my grandparents. Yeah, I can't.
No, you're
I keep
good.
going. I'm gonna keep crying.
No, it's fine. Well, just real quick, prost to your grandmother.
To my granny.
So.
And that was the other thing. She's granny.
Granny, yep.
I even said that at the funeral. I was like, I don't have a memory of this because I was just born. But my mom told me this story. The first time that my granny held me was that I was to call her granny. She's not grandma. She's not grandmother. She's not Mima. She's not anything. You will call me granny.
Yeah.
And my mom told me that story that she was like, her mom, my granny, was saying it to her, was like, yeah, she's going to call me granny, like, before I was born. And my mom's like, granny, this is just stupid. No. She's going to be grandma or Mima or something like that. And then my mom watching her mom hold me and say, I'm going to be your granny. And my mom was like, nope, that's actually perfect.
Yep.
So
Absolutely.
Grandmas get to choose, okay? Grandmas get to choose what they get to be called. Let them choose. That's why if I have a kid, I hope my mom follows in her mom's steps and says Granny, because I think my mom would be a wonderful Granny.
Indeed.
But anyway, okay, moving
Anyway,
on. The
and
Queen.
yeah,
The
so
Queen of England.
right after that, the Queen passed away
Yep.
after she celebrated her Platinum Jubilee.
Yeah, which was...
That was back in February
Yeah, that was like in late January, February.
that she celebrated that.
Yeah.
And then
It was
comes
like a
the
3-4 day celebration, but yeah.
essentially.
I mean, she continued it though. She also did it late May, early June too.
Mhm.
She did like another form of it. I mean, she was also... She's older, much older.
Indeed.
And I don't think she was feeling well. They also had like the whole... She did get COVID.
Right.
So she probably actually was experiencing long COVID.
She might have.
But I mean, she also didn't live for very long for us to be really sure that it was actually long COVID.
Right.
But yeah, she ended up passing away. Everyone says that... What was it? What was the date that they say that she passed away? Because we all know that it's actually the wrong date.
Oh yeah, it was like a day or two
Yeah.
before that she actually passed.
Let me see here. Yeah, September 8th. She died on September 7th. Because they couldn't release it. Like, they had to give the family some time.
Yeah.
But to the world, she died on September 8th, according to actual like, you know, I don't want to call them servants, but just members of each household.
Yeah.
You know, butlers and stuff like that. They actually got the word on the 7th.
Yeah, so February 6th, she celebrated her Platinum Jubilee.
Yes. Yeah. Longest reigning monarch ever.
Ever.
And neither of us, anybody listening, we're never to experience that again.
Nope.
We're at the age right now that, you know, for us to experience 70 years, we'd have to live to over 100, and Charles doesn't have another 70 years.
Oh, hell no.
And so, I mean, we'll see the death of another monarch again, for sure. But who knows? We might see the death of 2 monarchs in our lifetime.
It's more than possible.
So.
Oh, how could we have forgotten the friggin' Ukrainian-Russian invasion?
That as well.
That happened.
And how Ukraine president has bigger balls than anybody on planet Earth.
I'll say.
Yeah.
Bruce Willis got diagnosed with aphasia.
Yeah. Oh, that's right. Earlier this year, was it January, Bob Saget died?
Yep, Bob Saget died. The Foo Fighter drummer, Dave Grohl.
Yeah, you know them.
He passed away. Yeah, there was a lot of deaths.
There was a lot of celebrity deaths of, like, Frank and I's generation, especially, like, voice actors of our generation, you know, like, older people. But we do know who they are because, well, being musicians and him being in the acting thing, I feel like both of us, especially me, I've had to be more prevalent with these names.
Right. April 8th, Will Smith smacked Chris Rock.
Oh, God.
And created a bunch of memes out of that.
Yeah, they did. Yeah.
God. Like, I'm just flipping through shit. Alex Jones. Oh, yeah, he got... The court demanded that he paid like $1 billion or something.
Yeah, he's going bankrupt for the Sandy Hook thing that he...
Yeah, for his defamation lawsuit.
Yeah.
God, I'm just trying to quickly scroll through all this shit.
Also, it's defamation, not defamation.
Oh, defamation, yeah.
There you go.
Elon Musk is still a bastard. He bought Twitter, all that jazz.
Facebook's now Meta.
Yep, that's also stupid.
Honestly, where's the guy that owned Facebook? Not Facebook, but MySpace. We need MySpace back.
He was always your friend.
Always.
Always.
He was like, that was my first friend.
That's everyone's first friend.
Yep. Does MySpace even still exist? Maybe we should all just go back to MySpace.
Technically, it
because
does
we
still exist.
all bring our coding skills back.
Oh god, there's this stupid bullshit. The Johnny Depp Amber Heard
Oh, fuck.
lawsuit that they publicly... Why?
Yeah. That was dumb. She got what she deserved, in my opinion. And yes, that is speaking. I do have experience with abuse.
Not by me.
No, not. I'm sitting right here.
No, I know. I'm just clarifying. Not by me.
Yeah, obviously previous relationships, if that's how you want to categorize them. But I do have experience with that, and she's lying through her fucking teeth, and I've never seen someone be so fake emotional in my life.
Yeah. Oh, here's
and I only watched bits of it too, because I had shit going on in my life too, so I wasn't about to add any more. Anyway, yes.
June 21st, LA jury finds Bill Cosby liable for sexual assault.
He's always in court.
Yeah, but
he's been in court since like 2005.
He has recently announced that he is going to begin a comedy tour in 2023 in order to try and revitalize his name.
I mean, his comedy was really good, though.
It was.
I mean, if you separate the man from the crap,
from the person,
yeah.
If you separate the artist from the man,
yeah. I must say, him as a comedian, my parents loved him as a comedian. There's a whole bit that he does, like the chocolate cake.
Yes, breakfast.
Yeah, breakfast in the morning. Yeah, that's my parents' favorite bit. Yeah, especially my dad's.
June 29th, R. Kelly was sentenced to 30 years in jail on 9 counts of sex trafficking. If you're into R. Kelly.
I'm not surprised, but I don't know him, so.
July 5th, Carlos Santana collapsed on stage from dehydration and heat exhaustion in Michigan.
We also, for anyone who was not in America at that time, the majority of America was actually going through a drought.
Yes.
In a major drought. So much so that my parents, we did a 4th of July, Independence Day celebration at my parents' place, and they actually had to water the lawn.
Oh yeah, that's right.
To make sure that we didn't set shit on fire.
Yeah, that drought was bad.
That was a bad one. We were... it would rain, but it would rain enough just to get, the top 16th of an inch of dirt wet. But that's not enough to make things grow. That wasn't enough to make things moist enough to be able to shoot off fireworks and not have shit explode or catch fire. Which my family, there's a house very near my parents' house that they wish would just catch on fire. Yep. And ironically enough, 2 or 3 nights ago, I had a dream about the fact that, we set the house on fire.
Yeah.
Well, we didn't. Actually, firefighters did. They actually used it as a training drill. So it was nice.
Sense, yeah.
It was nice. But anyway, yeah, so Carlos Santana, that's a little scary. I'm actually not going to be looking forward to Carlos Santana actually passing away, though.
No, that's a lot of good
you
music.
Heard me. You probably came upstairs and you were hearing, because I took a shower earlier for reasons. Not because I stank, but because of other things.
Reasons.
But I was blasting Carlos Santana. I don't look forward to him passing away, and I know that's probably not for a little while, but that's still gonna suck.
Yeah.
Speaking of other bands, Lindsay McVie.
Oh, yes.
Fleetwood Mac,
she passed away.
Yeah, she was part of the band Fleetwood Mac.
Right.
But yeah, she passed away. That was a month ago or something like that.
It was very recent, yeah. Boris Johnson stepped down as Prime Minister, and then Liz Truss stepped up as Prime Minister, and then she stepped down as Prime Minister.
That was the craziest thing. So yeah, Boris Johnson stepped down right before the Queen passes away, and then Liz Truss, or whatever the fuck, she steps up, and then the Queen passes away, she steps down a week later or something.
Yep.
I was like, does that not speak to King Charles? I mean, okay, so we've all seen, if you have seen any bits of The Crown, the Netflix, series The Crown, I don't want to hold any bias against our actual, I don't want to say our, because we live here in the U.S.
Yeah.
But the King Charles, I don't want to say anything against him, but I kind of suspected this, and I've actually shared this with Frank here. That I believe him to have some form of potentially undiagnosed, and because they can't, they don't want to give a name to certain things for the reason why he is, but I believe he has some form of potentially severe-ish OCD.
Yeah, Liz Truss announces her intention to resign after 44 days in office, making her term shortest in country's history.
Yes. Yeah.
And what is this person's name?
Yeah, we got this new guy who I honestly believe to be a young Boris.
He was too peppy and what have you. What is
Yeah,
this?
like we watched his like acceptance speech and I was just like, this makes me want to throw up.
Why is Benjamin Netanyahu still alive?
I don't know who that is.
He's prime minister of Israel.
Oh,
Bruh needs to pass away.
well, that's the only way they're going to get a new prime minister is if he dies.
Probably. Anyway.
But yeah, they have their new one who is really peppy, and he honestly kind of reminds me.
I hate his voice.
Yeah, I hate his voice too. It's not like I really liked much of any prime minister's voice in England as of recent. But he honestly reminds me, and this is where it makes me a little terrified. He reminds me of the U.S.'s former vice president, who used to be the governor of the state of Indiana, Mike Pence.
Yeah.
That's honestly who it reminds me of. Okay, Mike Pence isn't like some peppy person. He's a late middle-aged asshole. But okay, just for clarification, neither Frank or I are supporters of Trump. That's it. I know how he got elected. I hate how he got elected, but it was dumb. Anyway, but Mike Pence, and so this is a reason I'm from Indiana. He's from Illinois. I am actually used to Mike Pence. Mike Pence is actually a terrifying person to put into power because he is contrary to the guy he was vice president for, Trump. Trump was not eloquent in speaking at all. Like, he repeated and also wanted to tell everyone how awesome he was in, like, the same sentence.
Yeah.
Mike Pence was not that. He was very intelligent about forming his sentences and saying things. And it was almost like, no, it was at the time, past tense. Mike Pence is kind of an intelligent narcissist. And that's not who you want to have in power, because that's scary. Because they could just flip. They could just flip their switch any damn time. And he did that many times in Indiana. Actually, if he had been in power, we're actually kind of glad that he just became vice president, because that meant he just sat around and dicked off probably the majority of the time and just got his paycheck. But if he had stayed in Indiana, he was about to be elected for another 4 years in Indiana. If he had, he would have been successful in removing women's rights in the state of Indiana.
Yep.
And that's terrifying.
Yep.
I'm a woman. That's terrifying.
That's another thing. Roe v. Wade.
Yeah, that was the other. Oh, God.
That got taken away this year.
Yeah. So that's why it's like, if you know any women here in America that are afraid to have sex now, that's why.
That's a good reason to.
Yeah.
Also, the current Prime Minister of the United Kingdom is Rishi Sunak.
That's right, yeah.
That's his name.
A peppy little dude.
Peppy little dude. Anyway, yeah. So getting back to us in our year.
Yeah, sorry, I was just like, just trying to, whatever.
I was going through a website that had like literally almost every single thing.
Yeah, but I was just trying to compare Rishi Sunak with Mike Pence, but a peppier version.
Seems accurate.
It seems. We have not heard anything else from him. Maybe he's doing something great. If he is, tell us.
Well, I mean, if he's staying in the shadows, then he's doing his job.
Yeah, he's doing his job. The only time I would expect a prime minister, and I think this just comes from knowing Winston Churchill, the only time I would expect a prime minister to make their face prevalent is if something domestic is going on, like, crappy wages or
drought or
anything like that, and also war.
Yeah.
international or whatever it happens to be war. That's the only time I expect a prime minister to show their face, is to be stoic in a time of need.
That's probably why Churchill was so prevalent.
Exactly. Well, because he was wartime.
Yeah.
He was
He
mostly
was straight up wartime.
Yeah. But if nothing's going on, there's no wars, there's no nothing, and you don't hear about the prime minister, they're doing their job.
That's great.
Yeah. But if something's going on and you don't hear from the prime minister, that's a problem.
Yeah.
Just like Boris Johnson, we only heard about him because he's stupid. Because he was literally the equivalent of our Trump.
Yep.
And so, we're sorry, England. If you guys didn't like him, we're sorry. But, hey, you guys think about our Trump, we think about your Boris Johnson. They're the same people.
Essentially.
Horrible. But anyway,
so,
continuing with more things. We were just in
us.
September, so more of us.
Her grandmother passing away actually gave me a little bit of reassurance to my current place of employment, because it's not that the other place would not have been sympathetic and understanding towards the time needed in order to be able to be supportive of Shelby and her family and be there for the funeral celebration of life, excuse me, and for
we didn't even call it that, but that's fine.
And for the burial.
Mm-hmm.
But just from my previous place of work and to now, there is a huge age difference. I was the oldest at the previous place. I am now the youngest at where I work now. And it's because of that age difference that there is understanding towards family, towards loss, and towards just life complications in general.
Mm-hmm.
And their skill, knowledge, and ability and willingness to be able to compensate for that.
It was a lot better.
So for me, so new to the office, to come to my boss and be like, hey, so, my roommate, my best friend, her grandmother passed, and I've basically been adopted more or less by the family, and they want me to be there.
Yep.
It's going to conflict with some work. Is this okay? And he basically said, sorry for the loss. Just work it out with, your other coworkers, and just adjust your hours accordingly.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, great. Will do. Thank you.
Yeah. That's different, because both of us, I think, even because because I got an insurance job in July, and obviously we both were fired from our different offices, but same insurance job.
Yeah.
At the same time. And I think both of us, I wasn't the oldest, but I was the oldest amongst the other people, not the owner. So, it's similar situations in a way where I don't think I would have been granted that.
Yeah.
And so it in a way it sucked. It was a blessing in disguise. But him being able to be there, because my family did specifically ask for him.
Yes. To my surprise.
That's the thing, is I told him that it was actually years ago my grandparents basically said, oh, I told him that you didn't have grandparents anymore, that
no, I only had Grandma Rose.
But not even when I knew you, though.
No. Grandma Rose died.
She passed away way before me.
Yeah.
So I was just like, he doesn't have grandparents, and his godparents.
I do.
But, I was like, he doesn't have grandparents, and they were just like, okay, we're his now.
Yeah, straight up.
That's literally what my grandparents said. And I was just like, okay, but what happens, if we follow? Oh, we're still his grandparents. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And so they're still, that's kind of how it was. They, they were just like, no, he's cool. We like him. He likes cats. That's all that matters. He's not a serial killer. He's not a murderer. He likes cats. That's all that matters.
Yeah, I'm unique in my own right, and I think they appreciate that too.
Yeah.
Because they hear something different.
But, so yeah, I get it that he probably felt like you probably felt like he maybe lost a little bit of family.
Yeah,
with my grandmother passing.
Absolutely.
But that just kind of speaks to the testament of my family, at least my grandparents, how they are.
And your
Um,
parents have obviously come to accept me too.
yeah.
And just
My
also
dad laughs at his jokes now, which
is awesome. Thank God. Because Shelby and I have an interesting history. At one point in time, we did date. And when we did, all my sly, stupid little comments meant nothing to him.
yeah,
I was telling jokes to a fucking
brick wall.
rock.
Yeah.
And
Oh,
now that
he was hearing them.
he was hearing them, but
yeah,
there was no joy or excitement being exuded.
yeah,
So things happen. People, time, etc., etc. We're now friends. We're still best friends, obviously, considering that we cohabitate with each other.
yeah,
But her dad, Dad Beast,
yeah.
Beast Dad, he's taken a bit more of a liking to me. I think he's finally just.
Like as of this year, even.
Was it this? I thought it was a little bit of last year too.
It was probably a little bit of
A little bit
last
of
year,
last
but
year
I
he
think
was opening up.
yeah, a little bit of last year he's opening up, but this year he's just like, yeah, whatever. He
He
says stupid shit. Sometimes I say stupid shit, but at least we both can laugh about it.
he enjoys my cracks. Like I'm actually able to stand beside him, just he and I, and conversation is fine. There's silence in between, which is okay, and I initiate conversation, which is okay because I know your dad's not really the most talkative
No,
one.
he's not.
But if you try to sway the conversation for him to take point, he does. He'll answer your question. He'll tell a little bit of a story.
Mm-hmm.
But then it ends and you're back to point one. I get
Yeah.
the conversation. I understand the formula now.
Yeah.
Uh,
My dad has a formula in conversation. That's funny.
but no, it's a lot. It's better now, and I think being there and making the time through work, and also just being able to help you through other things this year too,
Yeah.
has deepened your parents' potential like and respect towards me.
I believe so. Yeah.
But
Yeah. So that was the month of September. October was. That was probably my worst month. I mean, I like, and I don't want to sit there and be like, oh, losing my grandmother wasn't that bad. No, it was bad.
I mean, mental health was back and forth between us this entire year.
Yeah.
If one wasn't down, both of us were. I don't think at one point in this year, other than potentially as of lately, both of us haven't been up. It was either one or the other, or both of us were down.
It was always fluctuating. We might have been in the middle at times together, but
Neither of us were ever at a very positive position.
Together, or at the bottom together.
Yeah.
Yeah, October was a rough month for me. I went through a job interview, got hired for the job. 3 or 4 days later, got let go from the job even though I didn't even start it for stupid reasons.
Yeah.
And I was applying for other jobs. Nobody was hiring me, and I felt so worthless.
Yeah, that's the other thing that has been in very close conversation between us, and I think I mentioned this at one point in time amongst the podcast, was how you're either underqualified or overqualified, and there is no in between.
Yeah.
And that's what she has experienced, I think, for the past 2 years.
Mm-hmm. It's not been fun. But the month of October was bad. I will openly admit that I was very, very close to attempting suicide. I did not. I actually, for the first time in a long time, called the 988 number. The suicide prevention. Honestly, I don't even want to say it's like prevention. I don't want to say it's suicide or anything. I think it's just mental health hotline.
What are they labeling themselves? Let me find out real quick.
Yeah, I was gonna say you can figure that out. But I called them. I don't even know. It was like 2:00 in the morning. I don't even know. It was early in the morning, but I was like, I had a razor blade that was about 3 feet from me, and I could see it, and I was looking at it, and I was like, I want to use it. I don't, but I don't.
It is the Suicide and Crisis Lifeline.
Yeah, so crisis. I was in crisis, mental health crisis at that point, and I called, and I was just like, I need to be talked down. And I know I need to be talked down because I actually don't want to do it.
We had a argument that night. Too.
Yeah. But I was like, I need to be talked down. I need someone to tell me, or just help me not do it, because I don't. And I like that. That's actually mental health growth on my side. Is I'm looking at this. My one part of me is going, you have to. The other part of me is no. And the part of me that was more powerful was actually saying no. But I was like, I need to be talked down because I'm gone. I was like, if I let myself go another hour, I will actually do it. And I knew I need to talk to someone, so I called the number. Had no idea what to expect because it's been a while since I called the number. And guy was about 40-minute conversation. He talked me down completely. Literally brought me back to the world where he was saying things that I was like, I know this. I know this is how I should be. I was already given these tools when I was in therapy. Why am I not using them now? He's like, because everything that's happened to you has just overwhelmed you. You are completely overwhelmed. And he's like, you need to step back and start doing things for yourself for a little bit and then start putting yourself out there. So that's what I'm doing. It's very slow going, and I told him, I was like, I'm becoming very impatient now because I know what I want, and I'm becoming very impatient, and I think Frank here can very much relate to that. It's slow going, but we're extremely impatient for what we want.
Yes.
But I will say that phone call, and I recommend that number to you if you are going through it. It doesn't matter, even if you're be like, I'm not thinking of suicide, but I've shut down. Call that number. I don't care. Just do it. It'll help you. It helped me so much. And they will call the emergency number if you still feel like you're gonna do it. And somebody will be there. Just know that there are people out there that actually care about you, and
Also, sometimes talking to an absolute complete stranger can be the best thing for you.
Yeah. And I not to like bring anything specific about the guy, but I knew he was black and sassy, and that's all I really cared about, and that was awesome. And I think I honestly needed black sass at that point.
Yeah.
I needed that. I needed someone that was put together. Like, I could tell he was put together in his mental health life. And I could tell that he'd also not been at times. And it's so much so that now I'm actually considering potentially just taking therapy every couple of weeks and being a part of the community for the suicide and all that stuff.
Go for it.
I'm honestly considering that because I want to be able to be there for someone else because someone was there for me.
Yeah.
So it is what it is, but October is not a great month for me. But ironically, the next month completely was a 180.
Yeah, I mean...
if you want to say anything for yourself for October.
I mean, October, we were very combative with each other.
Yeah.
And that was primarily just because of financial stresses. Like, I think I was...
It felt like a disconnect amongst emotions.
Yeah.
I was feeling things, he was feeling things, but what the root of it was, we were both feeling the same thing. And I just feel like neither of us were understanding the other side's issues. I had so many other things that I couldn't see your side.
Sure.
Until I talked to the guy.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden I was like, okay, I see where you're coming from. That has been my root emotion, but everything else piled on top of it.
Right.
So, for me.
No, personally. Come October, I was 1 month into the new office, and I was learning that essentially everything that I was doing in the previous office was different and or potentially wrong.
Yeah.
As to how this office goes about their things. Come January, early January, I'll be with this office for 4 months, excuse me. And if I survive that day, then I will have...
I mean, you're 4 months now.
I began September. And so then October, November, December, January.
Yeah. So September, October.
No, you don't start count 1.
September to October, October to November, November to December. Oh, okay. Cool. To me, you've been there for 4 months.
Oh,
Because September to October is 1 month, October to November is 1 month, November to December, and then December to the 1st of January is 4 months.
yeah. So come January, I'll be there for 4 months.
Yeah, very beginning of January though.
Yes.
Yeah.
The 6th
Yeah.
is when I started.
My half birthday.
Yeah. So I was learning a bunch of things, and because I felt that I was essentially relearning and making mistakes at that office, that was putting work stress on me, and then also financial stress, and then also just, oh my God, I feel as if I'm stuck because all throughout this year, that was the other thing. Another stressor of mine was that I actually switched agencies.
It was like February,
Yeah,
yeah.
February, I
Yeah.
switched agencies from an Indianapolis location and I got a new agent in Chicago.
Yep.
And all throughout from February to October, I was doing monthly auditions. And I know I've described this on the podcast, so I won't go into too much detail, but there was a lot of just fluctuation of emotion, of angst with preparing monologues, preparing for these auditions, going into these auditions, not knowing whether or not I get a call back. If I do get a call back, great, but now let's get the other work done, and then I'd get the other work, and most of the times it was really positive. It was really good. It seemed as if I had the next step quenched, not necessarily being signed on, but at least a progression.
Mm-hmm.
And then that gets stripped away. And then come next month.
A literal roller coaster of, am I good? Oh, I'm good. Oh, they think I'm great. Okay, this is cool. Oh, no, I'm not good. Literal roller coaster of up and down. Like, literally, like, the roller coaster just keeps going up, down. Or you can just imagine it like one of those drop towers that just keeps sending you up and down, up and down. That's literally what it was.
Yeah. So that was in conjunction with...
Our life was a theme park this year, apparently.
Yeah. That was in conjunction with everything else simultaneously.
But yeah. So there's October.
That was October.
Then November. The job that I lost, well, the job that I got and then lost, I actually got.
Yep.
Honestly, I don't know how else to describe it other than the world finally was just like, okay, a few stars are gonna align for you. Because the job that I got and then lost, the few days that I had it,
Mm-hmm.
I was like, this is my dream job. This is what I want. This is gonna be great. And then I lost it, and it was like, I'm shit. But then November, I got it. Because another person quit.
Well, you got the...
I got it.
Got to be employed in the same office, but a different position.
Slightly different position. I was eventually going to be worked up to that position, but it became more prevalent now that I had to do it now.
Gotcha.
So yeah, my first day was like the 14th, 15th or something like that of November.
Mm-hmm.
It was a hell of a learning curve because the previous office that I worked in for this insurance company, they'll sit there and claim, I know certain people in that office would sit there and claim they trained me, but they didn't. I was trained and I was able to do a lot of things very early on. And I still have that job, by the way. I have not been let go from that job. I have actually, I was part-time up until like the first or second week or what, I would think it was second week or whatever. And I've been full-time for 3 weeks.
Yep.
Now.
She got her PNC license.
Yes, I passed first time. I did not think that was going to happen.
It took me twice. She got the first time.
The first time, and let me tell you, during that test, the landscaping crew that is across the street from us, like there's a different like type of community across from us. They were leaf blowing, and it was loud. And I was freaking out, and I was also trying to focus, and so I was like plugging my ears while I was like, I hit next, plug my ears so my brain can focus, and it was honestly an emotional fucking train wreck. I actually got myself kinked, like I kinked my neck and my upper shoulders because of the stress of everything, but I passed first try.
Yeah.
I did not think that was going to happen, but I did. I don't care if I passed with the exact score that was needed. I don't care.
Nope.
I did it.
That's all that matters.
Yep. But then the following week I was full time. Full time ever since then.
Yep.
And it's been interesting being back at a job, for one thing. But it's nice. I like my office. I like the people that I work with. Just like him, you know, they're understanding with family. Like even my boss, she's very family oriented. Considering she has 2 little ones, she's definitely family oriented.
Yeah.
They understand that life, family, things happen. So I think both of us, I don't want to say like we found our forever offices, because we both have different plans for our futures.
Yeah, neither one of us want to be doing this for the rest of our
No,
lives.
but these are jobs that I think can at least be maintained until we don't have to maintain them.
Indeed.
Indeed. And that's, I mean, I feel like I just kind of lumped November and December together, but...
Essentially. One other thing that we need to mention, 2 other things actually. Thing number 1 is that we gotten back into sports. So it has been an unfortunate delight watching the Colts and the Bears lose.
Oh, God, yeah.
And then...
Look forward to tomorrow!
Yeah. And then we actually... I'm starting to get into football, soccer, and we actually watched FIFA, the World Cup, and that was intense.
God.
Oh, and also Pele passed away.
Yeah, Pele passed away a few days ago.
So there's that, and then also she got a call from her second mother, who is her youthful band director in middle school and high school, who basically has reintroduced us into music with a community band which is local to where we live. And as a result of her being, you know, her skill level on bassoon and me being my skill level on horn, I felt as if after every single weekly rehearsal, someone else was coming up to us, be like, hey, can you be a part of this? Hey, can you do that?
Yeah.
So we have been reintroduced to the music community, and we're going to be doing our best to actually get our chops back into shape. Maybe even audition for some sort of local or community orchestra.
I actually at work yesterday, and work, don't be mad at me. I printed off all first bassoon parts for Beethoven's symphonies, because Beethoven is my favorite composer. And I was like, honestly, and we talked about it the night prior to the fact that we played the Pastoral Symphony, Symphony Number 6, for Beethoven in college. And I was like, I have never played 1 through 4. I've played 5, 6, 7, and 9, but I've not played 1 through 4 or 8. And I was like, maybe this should be a challenge for me this year, is to be able to, even with a recording or something like that.
Sure.
Is just to play along with either the CSO or London Symphony or someone, Berlin. You know, play along with their recordings of Beethoven's 9 symphonies. I think that would be a good challenge for this year, is just kind of go through that stuff.
Yeah.
And they'll keep me playing. It'll add something extra, because I mean, I don't want to say anything against like the band music that we're playing, although I know the certain pieces that we're playing, and I think we're actually playing a Symphony 4 band, and I know the part, and it's actually a really hard bassoon part. So part of me, when we both saw the repertoire for this coming spring for us, we both saw the repertoire and was like, shit, we joined, and they choose music that was based on our 2 sections.
Yes.
That's exactly what it looked like.
Literally what happened.
And I was just like, fuck. I was like, why? Why is it us?
Like, here's the thing, is that when we agreed to being a part of this ensemble, she was immediately placed principal bassoon.
Yeah.
I was placed... There's 8 horns, which is
at the time
a large amount for a band. And I was placed as assistant 3rd, so I was 6th. However, according to probably the majority of the people within that ensemble, the only people that you could actually hear out of the horn section was the principal horn player and myself.
Yes.
So
I was then sitting in front of the principal, so it was very easy for me to hear. But every single time that our director would single out the horns to play something, I could only hear. I mean, I could hear other people playing, but if I were to sit there and be like, shut my eyes and listen to people playing, I could hear the first and him. That was it.
So it's because of, we suspect, I don't want to say it's official, but we suspect because of us being a part of this ensemble, it made them more selective towards our sections.
I mean, the fact that I was brought in and they were given a piece that features my section
Yeah.
completely, and it didn't actually fail.
Yep. No, you did good.
So, you know, the fact that that went well, now I think they're wanting to push our sections.
Yep.
And just to see how far they can push, because I mean, other sections they're doing pretty okay. I wish we had a little bit better with clarinets, but
I wish we had a little better with trombones.
clarinets and trombones I think are our weak spots.
Yeah.
Tuba, no.
They're fine.
They're got it. They got it. Percussion, got it.
Trumpet section's good.
Yeah, trumpet section's good.
Can't complain about
Saxophone, great.
Yeah.
I didn't have any complaints with them. I wouldn't, because...
We had a substitute youth, which I wish we didn't, because he kept coming in early.
Was it the older or younger?
Younger.
Okay, yeah. I don't know if he was substitute, because I thought the other guy was substitute, but...
I don't know.
Anyway. But we're looking forward to sticking with this ensemble. It'll be actually a lot of fun. We're just looking forward to being back into playing and being amongst that actually I think really revitalized us.
Yeah.
As musicians.
We're getting back into music. Shelby has been more comfortable streaming by herself and has been doing so successfully.
Video games.
Yeah. Which is streaming in general. I mean, even your mixology stuff is good.
Yeah.
But...
Which I might actually incorporate that into tonight's New Year's stream.
May as well.
New Year's Eve, excuse me.
So... And then, you know, this December was just... The storm was unfortunate, so we just stayed hunkered down. Working on her car, which is fine now, but that was a bit of a struggle.
Yeah, that was an interesting time, and let's just say a certain mechanic shop is going to be getting left a very bad review.
Indeed.
Just to kind of warn people to please get other options. Don't just go with the one. Please talk to other people other than just one mechanic shop.
Yeah. Get a second or third quotes, and even if you have to, talk to Billy Bob Joe down the street to fix your shit.
Literally. 'Cause you never know. That redneck that is always revving cars at 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning, he might actually know what he's doing.
Yep.
So.
So that's basically our year. And the world has been weird as a result, too. So... Here's something potentially to look forward to when it comes to the video game world. I searched on there what to hope for or expect come 2023. And according to, let's see, the Evening Standard, UK news,
Okay.
UK internet news, what have you, they have an article called Ready Player One, the games to get excited for in 2023. I'm not going to read the whole article. I'm just going to go through what their highlights are.
Okay.
So they begin with a game called Forspoken.
Okay.
It says, this exciting game is the debut project of new game studio Luminous Productions. It stars Frey as a girl plucked from 21st century New York and deposited in the fantastic realm of Athia, where she discovers that she has powers.
Interesting.
Luminous was originally assembled from developers working on Final Fantasy 15, and it looks like a fair amount of inspiration made the leap to players will be able to flex Frey's magical abilities to explore sprawling open world, fight enemies in the corrupted world of the Break.
Interesting. Okay. So kind of a Final Fantasy type spin-off.
Yeah,
Not necessarily spin-off related, but just a Final Fantasy type.
right. Here's one that I'm looking forward to.
Okay.
Dead Space.
Remake.
Yep.
One.
Where they the remake of one where they
Where
have Isaac not
yeah,
being a silent
he's
antagonist.
talking.
He's talking. So there's not only going to be buffed graphics, but there's going to be brand new dialogue
Yep.
amongst all the characters. So that's coming out January 27th, 2023.
Day after his birthday.
On PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X and S, and PC. So I might have to get that through Steam.
Potentially,
Yeah.
unless we actually walked to Walmart. Well, not walked, but we were at Walmart the other day. They have PS5s.
They do. Also,
Let's say maybe you just get yourself a PS5 if my card isn't that expensive.
I would rather pay off my credit card.
I know.
I wish. Also, if you're interested, Forspoken will be coming out January 24th, 2023 on PlayStation 5 and PC.
Cool.
The next one on this list is Hogwarts Legacy.
Ugh.
Not interested? Okay.
Whatever. They've come out with so many Harry Potter crap that
Whatever.
it's boring now.
Well, if you're interested in that, that'll be coming out February 10th.
I mean, that's basically like you get to experience being at Hogwarts, essentially.
I guess so.
So.
On Nintendo Switch, PlayStation 4, 5, Xbox Series X and Series S, Xbox One, and PC. Now, here comes another fun one. It is the Resident Evil 4 remake.
The remake of the remake?
A remake of a remake.
There you go.
A complete remake from its 2005 version. Improving graphics. They want to improve the gameplay, storylines, give players an all-around improved experience. Coming out March 24th, 2023, PS4, 5, Xbox Series XS, and PC. Wow. Here's one that a lot of people are going to be looking forward to, and that is Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom.
Wow, another Legend of Zelda.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Which, don't quote me on this, but this may or may not be the sequel to Breath of the Wild, unless that's just going to be Breath of the Wild 2. I'm not up to date on my Nintendo and Zelda.
I own Breath of the Wild on my Nintendo Switch, so.
That will be coming out May 12th on Nintendo Switch only.
Oh, okay, cool.
Coming out next on this list is Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League.
Okay.
Basically, it sounds pretty standard.
Yeah.
Coming out spring 2023, PS5, Xbox X, S, and PC. Mm-hmm. Street Fighter 6 is coming out. So that's going to be interesting. Coming on to the RE engine, which will allow developers to change up the graphics, gameplay, and player experiences. Let's see, that'll be coming out June 2nd, 2023. PlayStation 4, 5, Xbox One, XS, and PC. Diablo 4, which I know people are going to go nuts over. Diablo has a huge cult fan base.
Okay.
So that will be coming out June 26, 2023. PlayStation 4, 5, Xbox One, XS, and PC. Spider-Man 2 is also coming out.
Alright.
That will be coming out in autumn of 2023. Or
fall here, as we call it here in America.
Yeah. Speaking of fall, a new game coming out of Bethesda is coming out called Redfall.
Okay.
Let's see. Bethesda is set to have a busy old year. In addition to releasing Starfield, they've also managed to squeeze in time to create what looks like a vampire game of dreams. Redfall is a town in Massachusetts where a band of brave resistant fighters must defeat the vampires swarming the town. You can solo or with up to 2 other players. The characters' powers are fun, ranging from turning invisible to shooting lightning bolts, and the gameplay looks exciting. A winning combination coming out sometime in 2023. Cool. Then, as mentioned, Starfield is coming out.
Yep.
Here's one that I know one of my old buddies is going to love. Dragon Age Dreadwolf.
There we go.
Will be coming out. If you can believe it, the last Dragon Age game came out all the way back in 2014. Almost a decade later, and after several lengthy delays, it appears that the sequel, the 4th in the series, will be coming out in 2023. So, there you all are for that. As expected, another Assassin's Creed game is coming out called Mirage.
Okay.
and that'll be coming out on the PlayStation 5, Xbox One XS, Epic, PC, and Amazon Luna. Sorry to disappoint, but no word yet
On
of
Elden
Elden Ring
Ring.
DLC. Not only Elden Ring DLC, but what about Bloodborne 2
Yeah, I
or...
know.
Yep.
Well, we all know this, though, that Miyazaki is very quiet until he wants to be loud.
Yep. Yep.
So I have a feeling, like I was telling him that I was like, I honestly think, I don't remember the stream, and I vaguely remember I said they were going to announce it by a year
Yep.
after Elden Ring was out, so probably into February, that there will be a DLC. I mean, there's been rumors out about it, and I think Elden Ring was such a hit that if they don't do a DLC, there's going to be people banging on Miyazaki's door.
Yeah, if Dark Souls 2 can get 2 or 3 DLCs and Elden Ring doesn't get one,
Yeah.
that's a problem.
But I think, I think Bloodborne 2 needs to come out first. But that seems like that might be a fall thing.
That might
That
be.
they might, and that's the thing that I'm thinking is that they're going to come out with two different things, and they're going to announce it in February or March of this coming year, that they're going to be like Elden Ring DLC, oh, also by the way, Bloodborne 2, and people are going to just shit their pants.
Yeah. Yeah,
So,
that'll probably happen at some sort of gaming convention, probably EA.
yeah, they're probably gonna, like, and I think they'll announce it the exact same way that I did. Be like, oh yeah, awesome, you guys really like Elden Ring 2. Oh, that's so cool, thank you. Oh, so yeah, we're gonna come out with a DLC for it. And everyone's like, whoa, and be like, oh, and by the way, Bloodborne 2.
Yeah.
And then everyone's just gonna be like, like, literally the whole, like, the roof would fall off the place, I honestly think.
Miyazaki goes deaf after announcing game.
Yeah. And I think that they're gonna make it just like kind of that like little slide of the card across the table, like Bloodborne 2.
Yeah.
Just like that.
Speaking of games, also congratulations to all the Game of the Year awards that went out, and especially to Christopher Judge for his amazing performance with Kratos Ragnarok. We're, I presume, about halfway through it. And don't know. Just presuming.
We're not looking to find out.
And we're having an amazing time with it.
Yeah.
And he does such an amazing job of keeping this character with all of his rage and aggression, and also showing a more sympathetic and sentimental side of Kratos, which is difficult with that character's history.
Yeah.
So good job, Christopher Judge. All props to you. All...
Yeah, props to Elden Ring for being the game of the year.
Yeah.
And probably a very extremely close runner-up was probably God of War Ragnarok. So yeah, literally the two games that he and I both really like in this household are probably, you know, the best.
They're killing it
for this year.
They're killing
it. So, you know, and the fact that a voice actor swept the stage for God of War Ragnarok.
Yeah.
Of his performance and everything. That's pretty freaking cool.
Yeah, without a doubt.
I mean, he's been talked about even weeks after the fact. That everyone's just like, he's, you know, if there's a word of this past month that I hate that has been used because it was used negatively prior to, is the word goat.
Yeah.
But now it's apparently means greatest of all time. If there was a GOAT for a voice actor for God of War, and I don't want to shit on anybody who was Kratos' voice actor prior to...
There's only the one.
There's only the one.
Yeah.
And I don't want to shit on him. But for bringing back and bringing a bigger voice to Kratos, Christopher Judge is the GOAT.
Yeah.
Greatest of all time.
He also set another record too. I don't know if you saw this or not, but he broke the record for the longest acceptance speech.
Yes. I did see that. I was like, I mean, I expect nothing less.
Yeah. So, I guess if that's everything, is there something that you're looking forward to in 2023, or?
You poured it halfway.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Something I'm looking forward to in 2023, being in better physical health. Whether or not that means me losing weight, I hope. I've been physically feeling better, and I think that's because I've been mentally feeling better, and we've actually started to eat a little bit healthier.
Yeah. We're
Um,
picking up veggies now.
yeah.
It's different.
But I think just through that, I just want to have better mental health where I feel better mentally, physically. This might just be my form of my womanhood body. I like not to, it's like I don't want to sit there and be looking at models and being like, why am I not that skinny? Well, this just might be me. But I am by no means overweight for my look. Um, I actually have to go and get like this size with the letter P at the end
Yeah.
because I don't fit that. But anyway, just hoping that I can have better mental health with my physical appearance.
Any goals? New
Um,
Year's resolutions, as cliche as those are.
yeah. I suppose I more want to call them goals, not resolutions. But I hope that we can at least start hitting the gym more. I don't want to like set a specific number,
No.
even if it's once a week or every other week. Something. Continue our fasting, which we gave up about halfway through this year, so we know we can do it.
Yeah.
Just life happened.
Yeah. Stresses and money.
I want to still continue the fasting. I want to at least attempt and do better at working out. I want to read more. That's for sure, and I want to practice more.
Yeah.
And practice piano as well on top of bassoon. But I think, and I want to stream. I want to continue streaming. I want to make affiliate. Like, I know I'm not going to make affiliate tonight, so that's not going to happen before the end of this year, which is what I wanted to do, but I realized I gave myself a huge time crunch, and then life happened.
Yeah.
But I'm hoping that at least by halfway through this year, this coming year, that I'll be affiliate. The way I can kind of coast a little bit, and life can happen, and I'll still be affiliate. But right now, I have to work a little bit to kind of try to maintain that. Because there's little check marks I have to do for Twitch. But I think that's pretty much it. Better mental health, better financial security, working out, reading, practicing bassoon, piano, and streaming.
Well,
I think that's a pretty full schedule, so.
Yeah, my goals are pretty much the same. Reading more, get those 2 books in, practicing horn. Have a better streaming schedule, working out, better financial situation. I will be taking up vocal lessons. I'll be under the tutelage of an internationally recognized baritone opera singer, so that's gonna be exciting. And for me specifically, I'm hoping to not only continue my studies as a voice actor and narrator, and just an actor in general, I suppose, but also to be signed on to a nationally ranked agency this year.
Yeah.
So that is another goal of mine.
Me personally, for him, I will be shocked if he's not.
Yeah. So we'll see. But both of us have a busy schedule for this year, or at least very good intentions for
we have some checklists of things that we want to do.
Yeah.
So,
with that said, I guess that's the end of this podcast. My guest here, Shelby, thank you again for joining. It's always a pleasure. Where can you be found? What's your shout out?
So, obviously, my name is Shelby, but amongst all my platforms, I am QueenShelBeast. That is with one L. But I'm found on Twitch, Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. All of those, you can follow me, like my pages, whatever. I also have a Discord page, which you can just message him through this. And if you want to find my Discord, he'll share his as well as mine.
It'll all be found in the description below.
Yeah. But that's me.
Yeah.
If you see me streaming, I'm probably doing mixology or gaming. That's the 2 things I really focus on when I stream. So.
Yeah. And we hope that you all have similar, not exact, but similar goals. At least goals that will bring you towards the person that you want to be. Better physically, better mentally, better spiritually. And we hope better financially.
Oh, another goal of mine is also hopefully either gain the finances or be able to start going to bartending school.
There we go.
Yeah.
There we go. So, everyone, take care of yourselves. Please drink responsibly. Don't drink and drive. Have a designated driver during this fun holiday evenings. And we will see you all, or talk at you all, next year. This has been the Frankly Speaking on Fridays podcast, found on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and Google Podcasts. Email the podcast at fsofpodcast@gmail.com for any topics of suggestion, articles of interest, or just say hello. I enjoy those emails too. Fapism Plays is found on Twitch, Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. Stop bitching at me about not posting things on YouTube. I'm the one primarily doing that, so stop at me. I'm getting there. But check out my streams too. She will be streaming later this evening, so please check her out, twitch.tv// QueenShelBeast. I'll be there too. So, with that said, Happy New Year's, everyone. Thank you for listening. May we all just be happier and more prosperous in 2023. Prost. So, good night. Sleep well, sweet dreams. It's the afternoon, I know.
Yeah.
But it's just force of habit now. And until next podcast in the new year, we'll see you then. So, goodbye, everyone. Au revoir.
Bye.
As we literally wave at no one. Something's wrong with us.
We're used to the camera.
I know. Bye, everyone.